This is the sound of the Third Rock Theater of the Air. Abandon all hope, ye who lend an ear.
Has anyone else noticed that thing in the sky? It can't just be me, right? One evening the night sky was completely empty and suddenly, there it was. It's just sitting up there. A loitering pale glow clinging to the firmament like a canker sore. One time, I even saw it smiling at me. What's its problem, right? What do you think it's doing up there? I'm just asking questions. I've got other questions, too, like who built the pyramids? What built the pyramids? Why built the pyramids? Why is this relevant? Just asking questions. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Where is Finland? Where isn't Finland? Where do babies come from? Where do people go when I stop looking at them? And also, what are vegetables? What are vegetables, really? Why do they want you to eat your vegetables? Do not believe their lies, listeners. Do not believe in eating your vegetables. Stay up past your bedtime, true believers. This is the Third Rock Theater of the Air. Friends, Romans, countrymen, foreigners, insects, shrimp, lend me your ears. Actually, on second thought, shrimp, you're going to have to sit this one out. Point your antenna to the station over and come back in about an hour. Are they gone? Great. Well, as for the rest of you, be welcome. You're listening to the Third Rock Theater of the Air. Twice the fun, double the trouble, quintuple the government scrutiny, and absolutely none of their business. This is your humble host, maitre d' and master of ceremonies, Mike. We've got some incredible stuff lined up for you all tonight. But first, big things are happening down on the surface world, so let's take a quick look at current events. Now, despite living on an extraterrestrial spacecraft deep in the vacuum of space, it's easy to forget that I am an American citizen. Unfortunately, the American government seems to really not see it that way. But still, it's a part of my history. Speaking of which, a historic victory, or perhaps prehistoric, has been won today for the peoples of the United States of America. This morning, the shadow government and members of the Many-Faced Council came to a consensus, ratifying the negative 332,000th Amendment and finally granting dinosaurs the right to vote. Yes, truly some news worth celebrating. However, some people have raised a few light criticisms against the amendment. These naysayers have tried to diminish our victory by reminding us of certain facts. Like, for example, that the dinosaurs are dead and have been dead for 65 million years. And that's not... And that's not true, dear listeners. The dinosaurs didn't die. They all just got jobs in Congress. These people, dear listeners, are party poopers. Plain and simple. Where's your sense of patriotic spirit? I, for one, think that a single piece of half-decent legislation every 2 or 3 centuries is as good of a batting average as any democracy can dream of. And I'm sure that as soon as some mad scientist or space-time anomaly brings the dinosaurs back into our world, their reptilian hearts will shudder with joy at the chance to finally exercise their inalienable rights. Now, let us leave the late Cretaceous behind and wind the clock forward to a much more civil time. Tonight's guest comes to us from a much more recent past, as we are due to be paid a visit by a beloved national icon from the US of A. On a completely unrelated note, you all remember the Third Rock Theater's proprietary array of genetic cloning vats, right? No? Nobody? Nobody at all. Oh, that's right. You don't remember them because we carefully wiped your collective memory of all knowledge on the matter. Silly me. I'll be frank with you folks. These old workhorses have never quite performed to our expectations. The latest example, of course, being the king of soulless sludge himself, Mr. Elvis Presley. But as he does every now and then, management has decreed that the time is right to test the mettle of these machines again. And this time, it's go big or go home. But before we open that can of worms, many of our listeners, corporate sponsors, and prying federal agents have asked me, Mike, how does the Third Rock Theater's proprietary cloning array actually work? We want details. Lots of details. In-depth, replicable details, preferably accompanied by instructions or clearly labeled diagrams. And to them I say, nice try. Look, believe me, I'd love to tell you all about our process of taking a man and turning him into something no longer set apart in the eyes of God, but, well, if I just went ahead and told you how we make a clone, then you'd all just copy us. So you'll just have to keep on letting the wonders of our dark work speak for themselves. And tonight, speak he will. Our guest comes to us from 77 years ago. Let us travel back to the mid-19th century and to the bloody end of the American Civil War, where my guest was President of the United States for 4 years. But like Lazarus of old, he has come crawling out from the cave to bring us this exclusive interview. Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever else might be out there, I give you Postmaster, professional wrestler, and 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Oh, right. Pardon me, folks. I must have forgotten our clones are made to order. We'll have to let the boys up near the cloning array know that we're ready for tonight's guest. And for that, I'm going to need a little help. I'm going to need a little... Mac, that's your cue.
Shit, sorry.
Our station intern, Mac, ladies and gentlemen. Crude and full of tood, as always. Yet I'll be grateful to have the extra set of hands here in a moment. Mac, would you kindly press that button on the wall there?
Sure. This one?
Mm-hmm. All right, take 2. Please welcome to the stage, President Abraham Lincoln. Yeesh. Sorry for the rough landing, Your Presidency.
I must have nodded off, and found myself in the most terrific somnambulism. Am I in a dream, good sir?
Yeah, a dream come true. Welcome aboard the Third Rock Theater of the Air.
Aboard? Well, I suppose I should have had some intuition, with all the steam and pipes. We're really inside a locomotive.
Sure, we can call it that.
Although I reckon I'd have named her something a tad more traditional.
Everyone's a critic. But suppose you did awake to find yourself within that dream within a dream. It would only make sense, then, that I am here to show you the way. A phantasmagorical guide, if you will.
I see. Are you then Virgil? Are you then that fount from which pours forth so rich a stream of words?
Worse. Call me Mike, Mr. President. And that friendly-looking young woman over there is my assistant, Mac.
Yo.
Never fear. Mac and I ourselves are both self-respecting American citizens. We're all kinsmen here, practically bursting with patriotic pride.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not really a burgers and baseball kind of guy. More of an alt, punk rock, fuck the man type of guy. Not really huge on America in general. I mean, no offense.
None taken. None taken. I know all too well that our contentious union has long struggled to embody the lofty ideals upon which it was founded. A pleasure to meet you regardless. Though, what exactly is a baseball?
No time for that, Abraham.
Then what would you have me to do, Mr. Mike?
Grab a seat, sit back, and enjoy a most unprecedented conversation.
Good. That's good. I'll have to use that.
I was hoping you and I might have a little chat about legacy. You've lived through quite the life, I'm told. From a dirt floor cabin on the frontier, all the way to the Oval Office. But come tomorrow, say it all came abruptly to an end. How do you think you'll be remembered? And what might that say about what makes a great man?
You know, there's a story about this that I'm rather quite fond of. Right on the cusp of manhood, I worked a flatboat down the Mississippi from Sangamo Town to New Orleans. Of course, we'd barely cleared Springfield before the thing had grounded itself right on top of a mill dam. So we were perched right on the edge like a seesaw. The front was hanging in the air while the rear was taking on water. And seeing as how none of my company seemed too concerned about it, I jumped in the water to push. Now that boat was loaded for bear. We were ferrying hogs, which meant barrels and barrels of corn just to feed them. Not to mention the men's food, and the men just standing there on the prow, gawking at me. God knows I've strained every nerve in my body. But no matter how much I pushed and pulled, I just could not pry them all over that dam. And by this point, I'd wager the whole town of New Salem had showed up, just to watch me drown. I instructed the men to make themselves useful and guide the livestock to shore while I ran into town. Borrowed an auger from the cooper store, and made what most sailors would probably argue is a terrible choice. You see, I had elected to drill a hole straight through the hull. Then I rolled each remaining barrel of corn over to that side. The boat tipped even. The water slowly drained. And before long, she finally slid off the edge and floated free. And as I stood there in the splendor of my little victory, that's precisely when I turned around to see my crew still standing there on the shore, helpless with a drove of hogs, while I continue downriver with a perfectly good hole in my boat. This great nation of ours is fraught with false histories of men such as I at the start of the story. Men thought of as great because they somehow possessed the singular will to change the world alone. This is not the principle to which great men exemplify. Great men do not singularly triumph over the course of the histories. To do so would be an attempt to singularly overpower the course of the river, and thus be drowned within her. But the great man chooses to harness the hidden power of that river, to be guided and directed by the currents of the world, and by the people who are most deeply weathered by her. Indeed, it is a great man's prerogative to be a man of compromise, of change and evolution. You see, by becoming evolutionary, we can in turn become revolutionary. Indeed, by becoming evolutionary, we can in turn become revolutionary. Well, that was it. That's my speech.
Yeah! Woo! USA! USA!
Well, alrighty then. Wise words indeed, Mr. President, but... Well... Is it just me, or is your beard a little longer than it was a moment before?
These old whiskers? Certainly not. I was shocked I could even grow this chinster. Oh, Christ almighty.
Oh dear. It's happening again.
What's becoming of me, Mr. Mike?
Mac! Step in and lend a hand with the president, would ya?
What's going on? Why is he eating the couch cushions?
It seems I cannot help myself.
Hey, no. No! The couch is not for eating, Mr. President. Quick! Get a hold of him before he finds my wardrobe!
Okay. Got him! Ow! What? He headbutted me! What the hell is going on?
Oh, I think I might know. But for that, someone upstairs has some explaining to do.
Not very presidential.
Listeners, while we try to grab this situation by the horns, why don't we go to today's sponsors? We'll be right back after these messages. Today's episode of the Third Rock Theater of the Air is sponsored by Grubby's All-You-Can-Eat Buffet. Folks, I know that to some of you, my job seems a breeze, speaking to you from this nice, air-conditioned studio high above the clouds. But hosting is hard work. And let me tell you, after talking into this here microphone hour after hour, one can really work up an appetite. It's those days when I'm feeling famished that I like to get my grub at Grubby's. They serve all your favorite meal at Grubby's. Corn meal, wheat meal, fish meal, bone meal, even those little garlic bread bites. The feeding troughs are always nice and accommodating, with enough space for the whole family. They even have booster pads for the youngsters. And each pen comes with an automatically closing door to make sure that you get your money's worth. At Grubby's, they're committed to helping you save. That's why, at Grubby's, you won't even be allowed to leave until you're good and ready. Until your flesh turns plump and ruddy. Until your blood runs thick and juicy. But not yet. Oh, not yet, my dear. Until then, just keep chewing. Yes, that's it. Keep chewing. Good. Good. Grubbies, eat your own heart out. Welcome back to the Third Rock Theater of the Air.
Okay, Abraham Lincoln is eating my sleeve.
He sure is, Mac. In fact, why don't you give him a bit more so he stops making such a ruckus? Folks, we're still working on getting back to our interview with the 16th President of the United States. Given the nature of our ongoing situation, management has allowed me to give you a little peek behind the curtain to our top-secret cloning technology. See, when trying to splice things up with a clone or two, the first thing you're going to need is some good old-fashioned DNA. We're not tying sticks together up here, folks. To make a clone, you need DNA. That's science. And for what's left of old goat-for-brains over here, that DNA came to us from our friends at the Jebediah Trelawney Brotherhood of Occult Practices. The samples they had in their possession included hair collected from his iconic stovepipe hat, blood collected from his iconic stovepipe hat, blood collecting around his stovepipe hat, around his shoes, around his...
No biting! Bad, Lincoln, bad.
You get the picture. Now, all that blood was already being spent by the Brotherhood to beseech their dark gods into manipulating the Nasdaq, and getting another season of Firefly. But the Brotherhood was kind enough to spare us a hair from old Honest Abe's head. Unfortunately, I hold in my hands a report on the genetic makeup of our latest test batch, and it turns out that that hair sample was highly contaminated. Did you know that the Lincolns kept goats in the White House? Yeah, apparently we didn't either. That should have been remedied after the incident with the Teddies. That's Roosevelt and Black Bear. What do I know, right? Pet hair. It gets everywhere, eh, folks? Well, despite my best attempts at stalling, it seems we are no closer to finding a solution to this unexpected interruption, which themselves are starting to become unexpected interruptions. I can only hope someone swoops in with a solution before... right in the nick of time.
Is that a gun?
Folks, a strange object has just fallen from one of our pneumatic pipes onto the stage. What appears, to my untrained eye, to be a single-shot .44 caliber Philadelphia Derringer. The implication is clear. Never fear, I know exactly what to do with this. Here you go, Mac.
The fuck? No!
Language.
Careful where you're pointing that, you maniac!
Look at him! He's in pain. Plus, weren't you the one going all anti-establishment on us earlier? This is literally your shot. You want to shoot the president, don't you, Mac? Come on, I know you want to shoot the president.
I'm not gonna murder him. He's a person. You do it.
No. If you think I'm the one that's gonna hand out the old John Wilkes Booth treatment, you are sorely mistaken. It's one thing to eject a guest or two. It's another thing to re-assassinate America's favorite vampire hunter. Can you imagine if the tabloids found out? I'd be ruined.
No, Mike. This is crossing a line. I'm your intern, not your little puppet or something. You can make me run the prompter, or fetch you coffee, or tell me not to swear, but you can't make me do this. Find someone else to do your dirty work.
Someone else. Someone? That's it! Mac, you're a genius!
What? Oh, what? You're thinking we just call the next guest down?
No, that won't do. Normally it would, but I think our friend upstairs is really going all in on all this cloning stuff working out tonight. But we could send our current guest back up.
Back up? Up the pipe?
And back to the cloning array. If we send him back, management might be able to fix whatever's defective in him, and then send him right back down.
Huh. Will that really work?
That's the best part. I don't know. But it'll be exciting, I guarantee you that. Doesn't that sound exciting, folks? And while we're at it, we can also take this opportunity to iron out some of Abraham Lincoln's kinks.
Gross. Wait, what do you mean by that?
I mean the flaws in the clone's programming. Don't get me wrong, this one isn't bad, but it ain't the genuine article. He's too plain, too modest. The real Abraham Lincoln would not act like that. I'll just leave some notes with him so the boys upstairs can get him right this time. I'm sure they won't mind. You mind tucking these somewhere where he won't eat them?
Sure. I guess it's worth a shot, right?
Right. Now let's send him back up.
Wait, what about the gun?
Nah, just run it backstage for now. We'll deal with it later. Alrighty, one fresh, de-bovidized president coming right up. Well, not gonna lie, folks, I have no idea how long it takes to rip apart a goat man molecule by molecule and stitch him back together in a non-goat form. That said, it looks like this brief interruption should be over real soon. And then we'll get back to our fascinating conversation with President Lincoln. Looks like we've got some time to kill until his incubation is complete. So... Hey, Mac. How's it going?
You know, fine. Can't complain, I guess.
Cool. So, are you enjoying your internship with us?
What do you want? A report card? I said I'm fine, didn't I?
Good. Glad to hear it. You know, we really appreciate all the work you do around the station.
Uh-huh.
No, really, I mean it.
Yeah, save it. I don't really know what you want me to say. I'm still stuck here, still trapped. I'm not gonna just forget that no matter how chummy you try to get with me. I'm currently in less immediate danger than usual, which is nice, I guess.
I see.
But, you know, thanks for asking.
You know, while I have you here, I've been meaning to ask you about that situation with the airlock. Oh, wow. Saved by the bell. Listeners, it looks like tonight's guest has completed his round trip through the cloning array and is now rocketing back to the Third Rock stage. So, for the second time tonight, please give a round of applause for tonight's guest, President Abraham Lincoln. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Hey, what's the big idea?
He didn't do anything. What gives?
By Jove! What bad fortune has befallen me now?
Oh, come on. Thanks a lot, management. Good for nothing. Whatever you are. Wait, Mike? What's that sound?
There's something else? I could have sworn the rest of the call sheet was empty. Well, shoot. I guess we better... As I was saying, welcome to the show, Mr. Lincoln. And Mr. Lincoln?
Thank you.
And how exactly does this solve our problem? They're still both goat people.
Well, you know what they say. 2 wrongs always make a right, right? Wow! 2 presidents for the price of 1? Sounds like double the fun. Let's not waste any more time with introductions. Where exactly did we leave off our discussion again, Mr. Lincoln?
I believe I have just finished my thoughts on the matter. Indeed, I'm eager to see what this queer dream shall bring. Beside myself, one might say.
Beside you? oh, you two are too much.
You know, that reminds me of a story that I'm quite fond of. What a coincidence! I, too, was reminded of a story I am quite fond of. Would you mind? No, but by all means. Right on the cusp of manhood, I worked a flatboat down the Mississippi from Sangamo Town to New Orleans. Of course, we'd barely cleared Gehenna before the thing had run aground right on top of a dam. We were perched right on the edge like an eavesdropper. The front was jutted up in the air while the rear was drinking deep of the river. And seeing as how none of my men were of sufficient will or capability to do anything about it, I jumped in the water to push. Now that boat was loaded for hogs. We were selling hogs, which means barrels and barrels of hogs just to feed them. Not to mention the men's hogs and the hogs just standing there on the prow, gawking at me. No matter how I pushed and pulled, I just could not save my helpless, impotent crew. And by this point, I'd wager the entire town of Salem had showed up to watch me drown. Some cheered and heckled us as I struggled alone there in the muck. Others licked their lips, leering at us with eyes as full of that deathless hunger as what filled the Stygian waters at my waist. But most of them came neither to cheer nor jeer me. They came as mourners, and it was the mourners I came to dread most of all. They gathered in droves along the water's edge, all dressed in black coats and robes and veils. They witnessed my peril, but never did they raise a hand to aid me. Instead, they bowed their heads and began to cry. They cried and cried and cried. Their melancholic bile ran in thick rivulets, joining with the river as does runoff from the mountain's peak. The water had risen past my sternum. I tried to stop them, tried to scream, "Cease your tears! I am not dead!" But the mourners would not listen. I am not dead! I can't be dead! Perhaps they could not hear. I looked to my men, but they would not help me. I felt the icy kiss of their tears against the nape of my neck. I am not dead! I said at last. The river eclipsed me completely, and finally, I uttered no more. Down and down I descended into that bitter melancholy. The river, once shallow, had come to swallow me like a dark and fathomless ocean. As the last of my breath fleeted from my body, I thought to myself, this is wrong. No, this is all wrong. It isn't supposed to end like this. This is not what I am owed. I am a great man. I am a retainer of nations. I am a breaker of chains. I am he who calls to the river, and the river bows. It bends. I am... Oh, I forgot where I was going with that.
Hey, Mike. Mind explaining to me why Lincoln number 2 just exploded?
No, you do have a point there, Mac. Something seems a bit off about this clone.
Oh! Does it? Does it now? Could it maybe have something to do with a burst of hairy, tentacle thingies wriggling all over the place?
The ballot is mightier than the bullet.
Well, of course there is that. But honestly, I was more referring to that terrible story it was telling us. What a weirdo.
What even is it?
No idea. But I can tell you what it is not. Abraham Lincoln. Where was the panache? The bravado? The top hat? Oh, you know what I mean. He was nothing like the stories. Not at all. Oh well. I suppose it's back to the drawing board, then.
Yeah, I don't know if that's such a good idea either. I mean, look at this thing. Are you sure that's smart, Mike?
You know what they say. Third time's the charm. Or fourth. Or fifth. Or 10th. I think it's about time for another break, folks, don't you? During that time, Mac and I will take the liberty of running our guest here through a few more iterations. Don't worry, folks. We'll only send him back as many times as it takes to get it right. Welcome back, listeners. My, you're a punctual bunch, aren't you? Truth be told, I was hoping the break would buy us a bit more time for the boys upstairs to really perfect the Lincoln formula. We've sent the clones back so many times with so many notes, I've long since lost count. How many times would you say it's been, two-headed Lincoln?
It's been about 30 to 40 times, I reckon. Nah, closer to 50. Definitely more than 30. It has not. Has too.
And you, eucalyptus tree, Lincoln?
My fingers pierce deep these wretched foundations, yet find no purchase in the loamy soil. The mother, she calls to me, yet I cannot answer.
So true, so true. And what about you, Flesh Spider Lincoln? What's your 2 cents on this?
Tell me! Please, tell me!
Drat! 1 cent. Should have said 1 cent on this, not 2 cents.
What?
You know, like a penny? Gah! Penny for your thoughts. It was right there.
Mike, focus. What the hell are we doing here?
I told you. We're waiting for the last clone to come down.
Yeah, just like the last Last clone? Look around you, Mike. They're only getting worse.
Please. I wish at last to sup upon the breasts of Mother Gaia.
Okay, fair enough. Tree Lincoln is a bit off. But the rest of them aren't so bad once you get to know them. And, if this is all becoming a bit too much, we could always just... you know...
Kill me!
Yeah, what he said.
No, we are not doing that. It's like making a copy of a copy of a copy, right? The more you do it, the worse it gets, until it isn't even recognizable anymore. It's only a matter of time before something truly fucked up.
Language.
Sorry, effed up comes down here. Why don't we just give up and call it a night?
Nonsense, Mac. Come on, let's just give it one more try. Unless you'd like to be the one to explain to our employer that our episode flopped and that our proprietary cloning technology is a non-stop Cronenberg nightmare factory. Didn't think so. So I say we should give it one last try.
But Mike, I just don't...
Oops. Too late. All right, here we go. For the last time, I swear. Please give it up for Abraham Lincoln. Welcome to the show, Mr. Lincoln. Boy, the photographs really don't do your stature justice, do they? Dear listeners, it seems like our interviewee can't handle sitting in the proverbial hot seat. By which, of course, I mean that his flesh is melting. It is slowly melting from the bone as we speak, falling drip by drip onto the floor, like cherry peach ice cream in the summer heat. This does not seem to be visibly affecting the president in any way. So, say, Abe, why the long face? Would you at the very least like to tell us a story?
A story? Sure. Once upon a time, a cell divided against itself cannot stand.
Listeners, something has gone horribly wrong. This new clone has just grabbed Two-Headed Lincoln and, good grief, their flesh is somehow being slowly absorbed into the monster's mass. Who could have foreseen this?
Oh, God damn it!
You're next, little man.
Yes! Finally! Kill me! Kill me!
Kill you? No. For I am a just and merciful God. We will all live together forever.
No. This is literally the exact opposite of what I wanted.
Folks, the Lincoln abomination is spreading across the room, absorbing the bodies of every clone it encounters. The scene is almost too grisly to be described, but describe it I shall. They are becoming one. An undulating mass with 100 eyes and 100 hands and 100 screaming mouths. Soon, there will be none left to resist it. I have to get Mac out of here before it's too... Mac? Mac? Where are you?
Now for you, Radio Man.
Oh, God. I am too late. All other marks have already fled or been fed upon. The abomination surges towards. Rolls of gibbering fat dragged forward by a forest of mangled hands and lolling tongues. The gaze of its many eyes is fixated upon me.
Do not fear, Radio Man.
It's not so bad. Why don't you just stop fighting and join us? It'll all be better once you join us.
Join us.
Join us.
There is nowhere left to run, nowhere to escape, except to be welcomed by the open arms of assimilation listeners. It seems as though this could be the end. Oh, Mac, I'm so sorry. If only I had listened. If only I had... I'm alive. By some stroke of luck, I'm alive. The monster has been shot dead. Its form slowly deflating and melting away. But how? What mysterious savior has come to rescue me in my hour of need? No, not a mystery at all. It's...
Wilhelm! What? But how? Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
He's a clone. Wilhelm's a clone.
Yes, indeed. The finest clone you ever did see. And you, Mac, you're all right. Oh, thank goodness.
Wait, if he's a clone, then... Oh god, are you a clone? Am I a clone? Fuck, are we all clones?
Save it for the philosophy majors, Mac. Besides, you don't have to worry. Wilhelm here is the only one that we've ever managed to get right. Though we aren't really sure why. Great to have you back, Wilhelm. Oh, wow. Look at that. Back to the old grindstone already, eh, Wilhelm? With you back on our janitorial staff, this mess will get cleaned up in no time flat. Say, Wilhelm, that flesh puddle right there still looks a bit active. If you could just... Oh, no! Wilhelm, look out! He'll be back.
Right. Well, Mike, looks like this nightmare of the week is wrapping up.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Is there maybe something you'd like to say to me?
Nothing comes to mind.
Really? Nothing? Nothing you want to say or maybe apologize for or...
Oh, yes, there actually was something I wanted to say. I wanted to tell you that
Yes?
I think that about does it for all of us here in the studio.
Fuck off!
This has been the Third Rock Theater of the Air. Stay tuned next for 9 uninterrupted hours of smooth kazoo and slide whistle. And remember, time heals all wounds. But just in case, I would rub some ginger or oregano into the wound as well. Really brings out the flavor. See you around, Big Blue. So long, and good night.
The Third Rock Theater of the Air is created and distributed by Sword and Sigil Productions, in mutual cooperation with the nameless thing that lives inside your air fryer. It is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike International License. Episode 4, The Missing Linc, was written and directed by Gage P. Sigil and Kieran Swart, and produced by Kieran Swart. Our executive producer is Dan Swart. The voice of Mike is Gage P. Sigil. The voice of Mac is Beck Rosales. The voice of Abraham Lincoln, Goat Lincoln, Two-Headed Lincoln, Tree Lincoln, Flesh Spider Lincoln, Abomination Lincoln, etc. was John Wilders. Additional voices provided by Tori Austin. The sound of the Third Rock Theater was composed and designed by Gage P. Sigil, with editing by Kieran Swart. Additional thanks to R.M. Beckett for production assistance, the Jebediah Trelawney Brotherhood of Occult Practices, and to the Bloodstone Sorcerers of Lots of Waters, Arizona. Muchas gracias, hechiceras. Thank you for listening.